Thank you everyone for joining in. This is episode number 2 of Suryanju Saxena podcast. So the guest we have today is Ankita Shrivastava. Ankita Shrivastava is an organ donor. She represented India in World Transplant Games by the Olympic Association in 2019 and won 2 golds and 1 silver in long jump, ball throw, and 100 meters. She also runs a media and entertainment business which has been exporting to 25 countries till date. Also, she is a TEDx speaker and the youngest to enter 40 under 40. She has built 8 brands, including Purple Turtle, recognized across 25 countries with 350 plus books and a TV show on Discovery Kids in Middle Eastern and North African region. Her name is in the India Book of Records and has been awarded Top World Women Leaders, Women in Business, Excellence in Sports, National Sports Time Award 2019, amongst many others. She is working with Organ India, National and Regional Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization. And she is also working closely with the government towards the awareness of organ donation. She has been awarded the Excellence in Sports Award by the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, National Sports Time Award 2019 Best Player, amongst many others. She is a motivational speaker and a startup mentor, connecting with them as a peer. Ankita Shrivastava tops the list of famous Indian female entrepreneurs and is renowned as a business youth icon today, not only in India but also in California and Massachusetts. Her endeavors have also listed her in the world of most famous female entrepreneurs in the world. So, thank you so much, Ankita ma'am. It's an honor to have you with us. So,
Thank you.
my first question to you is, like, you're such an achiever. So, like, have you been the same since your teenage days, or were you a bit different?
Yeah, I would like to believe that I was the same since childhood, I would say. And when I was in seventh class, I have been a sports enthusiast and a life enthusiast, I would like to believe. But
Okay,
in when I was in seventh, my mom was diagnosed of liver cirrhosis, and I think
okay.
that brought the responsibility part of it. So enthusiasm to hai hi, but enthusiasm also needs a little support of discipline and some responsibility on our part, because only enthusiasm might lead us to the wrong way.
Okay,
So yeah,
yeah.
I would like to believe I was hyper since childhood, and I think that helps. If nothing else works, तो थोड़ा hyper होना, excited रहना about life does help.
Hmm, hmm. So, like, मतलब आपने इतना अचीव करा है, सब है, after all this success, तो like, who brings you back to reality कि मतलब ज्यादा अगर आप मतलब कोई तो होगा ना एक जो
Everybody
मतलब आप
does.
everybody around you.
Yes, but it's on us that we don't bring ourselves back to reality. Reality, I don't know what in terms of reality. So, grounded रहना is very
Grounded
important.
रहना, हाँ हाँ हाँ.
Yes, grounded रहना is very important. But I think more so, everybody around you will try and pull you back to the reality you are in, and you might be dreaming about a better future. Obviously, everybody is dreaming about a better future. So I think that
Hmm,
it's a in balance, and I particularly like to believe in the future. So
hmm.
मुझे बहुत लोग reality check देने की कोशिश करते हैं. I do not like realities. I like to believe that there is a better future. And I also think कि अगर आप reality में stuck रहते हो ना, जो है present reality है, you tend to not believe in miracles. But
Okay,
if
okay.
you believe in a future, in a brighter future or better future or whatever, you start believing in miracles. So I am one person जिसको जितना भी reality में ले आओ वो वापस ही नहीं आता. मतलब I am in my own world, I guess.
Okay. So, like, when did you realize that you have a passion for, entrepreneurship, or you would like to go into entrepreneurship rather than having a 9 to 5 job or going into the corporate world?
A very interesting question. So, since I would believe, since I understood कि school के बाद कुछ करना पड़ता है to earn money, so either you do
हाँ.
a job or you do a business, and that's when I realized that I'm one person who's very entrepreneurial. Whatever you learn is basically at home. आप अपने घर से ही सीखते हो. घर और
Hmm.
school
Very
इतने
true. Yes.
So I was very thankful and privileged that I got a lot of responsibilities at home. So I would manage
Hmm.
things around, and I realized कि काम करने से ज़्यादा I like managing things, and I
Hmm.
had an instinct, very entrepreneurial instinct towards taking risk. It's very important as an entrepreneur. You should have that will of taking risk. कि बिल्कुल zero से start करना is not easy. A job is more sustainable, more secured, and everything.
Secure.
I was a risk taker since bachpan se, I would believe. So yes, I knew which category I want to do business in. That's very interesting because my father was he ran a business of civil engineering. He would design bridges. So that was his business. So architectural, like and engineer
Yes,
background and
yes.
all of that. I knew कि वो नहीं करना है. I want to be a
हाँ.
businessman. I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't want to do that thing. I wanted more of a media and entertainment and that kind of a background, and thankfully somehow destiny landed me here. So yeah, I think connecting the dots, जबरदस्ती connecting the dots अपन कर ही लेते हैं eventually. But yeah,
हाँ.
that's what
हाँ.
I wanted to do. I knew I'm very entrepreneurial. एंड व्हाट कैटेगरी आई वांटेड टू डू वो मेरे दिमाग में क्लियर था, बट आई डिडंट वांट टू जॉइन द फैमिली बिजनेस क्योंकि वो बिल्कुल ही बाहर जा रहा था. सो आई डिडंट नो हाउ. मे बी आई थॉट कि मैं कुछ टाइम जॉब करूंगी एंड देन आई स्टार्ट माय ओन थिंग, बट थैंकफुली आई लैंडेड अप हियर.
Okay. So like आपने इतना achieve कर लिया है, but still sometimes you would face failures or rejections. So how do you deal with that?
So yeah, another very interesting question. So I always tell whoever I talk to, every fourth day will be a down phase, and every fifth day can be a rising day, or it can be a continuous graph of steep curves. So difficulty होना सबकी लाइफ में, it's very obvious. And
Hmm. Hmm.
because I'm so spirited, ऐसा लगता है कि बिल्कुल ना, there are no off days. I also have off
हाँ.
days. I just don't show anybody when I have an off day, but it's completely normal. उसके बाद का खेल है when the game starts, कि उसके बाद what do you decide, कि आप उसी curve में रहना चाहते हो or you want to bounce back. And that needs lot of courage, lot of self motivation, क्योंकि कोई नहीं आ रहा बचाने. Like your previous question, बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे हैं आपको reality check दिलाने, पर
हाँ.
कोई भी आपको रियलिटी में से बाहर निकाल के बिगर बेटर फ्यूचर दिखाने के लिए देयर इज नॉट टू मच हेल्प. मे बी अ कपल ऑफ पीपल इन योर लाइफ. सो
हाँ.
या, तो वो आप खुद ही हो. तो यू हैव टू
Hmm.
बी सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड ऑल द टाइम. एंड उसमें भी थोड़ा मोटिवेशन मात खा जाता है कभी कभी, बट या दैट्स हाउ यू बाउंस बैक. दैट्स योर मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ. एंड जितनी फिजिकल इंपॉर्टेंट है उससे आई वुड बिलीव 10 गुना ज्यादा मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ इंपॉर्टेंट है. And that also happens, so not all the credit goes to me. There have to be couple of people, maybe not puri dunya cannot be on your side, but couple of people who believe in you, who believe in you blindly. Matlab, when you're failing also they know कि यार ये तो कुछ कर लेगा या कर
हाँ.
लेगी. So
हाँ.
you got to keep those people close to you. I think that becomes the riding wave for a better future, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So मतलब how was your high school? मतलब how was your 10th, 11th, 12th?
So मेरा 10th 11th 12th, to be very frank, मतलब ये तो किसी को भी नहीं पता, was very bad. So I was a over enthusiastic sports child, would play all the sports in the world. I was playing my nationals also at that time. But my
Okay.
studies, and that's a very interesting thing to note, my 10th was exceptional because I
Okay.
got a lot of support from teachers. But like anybody who's from school days and is watching, तो स्कूल में all your life is your school. जो स्कूल years
हाँ.
होते हैं
हाँ.
उसमें
हाँ.
आपकी लाइफ क्या होती है, स्कूल होता है और घर होता है. that's it. वही वर्ल्ड आपने देखा होता है.
स्कूल, घर और
तो
ट्यूशन. हाँ.
you tend to give too much importance to those places and those people. So what happened in 11th and 12th, that I was very famous in school. A lot of juniors would like me, and I had मतलब too famous. So
हाँ.
and वैसे भी self motivated इंसान अपने आप को काफी बड़ा समझता है. So
हाँ.
everybody around me started giving me a reality check that you are not as good as you think. So somehow in those 2 years, I went extremely down. I would not like to believe that I was so bad at academics that I couldn't perform, but I would keep failing. I don't know how that happened, and I would keep failing, and I would keep giving retests and retests, and eventually there were a few teachers, like I can even tell you a hack. Like those teachers will tell me कि ये question आने वाला है. Like they were that supportive कि कैसे भी pass हो जाए. I would still not pass. So it was. I would like to believe that I was not so stupid to not pass in a paper where I know the questions. So I think eventually it was too much of reality check from people around you and too many people pulling you down. And some teachers would मतलब शक्ल ही पसंद नहीं होती वो. I'm sure सबके साथ ऐसा होता है. So they would just come in the class and they would look at the green board, and so they are not even facing the class. So children are sitting here, they are facing the green board, and they would say, Ankita, get out, without even seeing if I'm doing anything, if I'm even मतलब मेरा कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है या मैंने ऐसी. तो स्टार्टिंग में वो मुझे बाहर निकाल देते थे सो दैट उसके बाद की क्लास स्मूथ जानी चाहिए.
मेरा ऐसा 7th 8th 9th में होता था मेरे साथ ऐसा कि टीचर आई.
थोड़े नोटोरियस बच्चों के साथ हो जाता है. सो मे बी आई वाज अ पेन टू देम, बट whatever. So those were a little difficult years, but then eventually when you fall in place, they all come back to you. When I went back to the school, those were the same people who gave me a bouquet and welcomed me. So I think it all falls in place eventually.
That's wonderful. So like, but you went to DU, right? तो आपने आप DU गई थी ना?
Yes,
so
I did. Yes,
you did well in 12th मतलब है ना?
हाँ, but I had sports quota also for my sport.
Oh, nice.
So, yes.
So like I know I want to know at what age like you donated your liver to your mother.
I donated at the age of 19. So
19.
yes, so I had actually graduated, मतलब school हो गया था and college enter किया था.
Okay, and what changes did it take in your life like after that?
So it's a very funny story. So obviously there's no second question when your mom needs it. So I said yes, and we had a 30-second discussion, and okay. So imagine 2014, which is I think 7 years back, and there's not much of science and research or some kind of information on Google as well for liver donors. You might find a little about liver transplant or liver recipients. They always talk about kidney donors, kidney transplant, kidney recipients. So very little information. So कुछ पता ही नहीं था. तो वो कुएं में कूदने टाइप का हो गया, and just jumped because it was my mom. But once the transplant happened, so when you're going for the transplant ना, वो टाइम वो होता है जब आपके आसपास वाले आपको बाहुबली बना देते हैं.
हाँ.
You want to be that person. Everybody wants to be that person, like
yes.
blue-eyed girl हो गई है तो. So a lot of importance given. I was also super excited. Once the transplant got over, it was a whole different story. It's very difficult. It's something again in life, a challenge which needs mental health. So physical health, but mental health support. When I woke up, it was around 3 a.m. Some 36 hours had gone by for the transplant, and I had increased 15 kgs to be able to donate. So whatever was the weight, 45 से 59 ऐसा कुछ हो गया था, and जैसे ही खत्म हुआ तो that weight shredded, वो एकदम से चला गया. And then I couldn't just feel anything. There were all wires and morphine की bottles लगी हुई थी. That, and there's nobody, I obviously because of the infection thing, nobody can come in your room for like weeks. So wo jo quarantine COVID thing, somebody will give you pass. It is when you're feeling a little okay. That was with wires, and I couldn't speak, talk, even press that button for emergency calling. So that required a lot of mental health. and strength. So usse, and it is not just those 14 days in the ICU, then it's the private ward, then 3 months in Delhi, then another year of recovery in Bhopal. So uh, I think that was a difficult phase. And what happens is my mom was the recipient, so obviously she was way sicker than I was. So everybody was concentrating on her, and I also wanted everybody to concentrate on her. And post 4 months, she passed away, and I was still
Oh.
recovering. वो
Hmm.
रिकवरी ही चली जा रही, तो वो पूरा फेज ही काफी ट्रॉमेटिक हो गया था. तो या आई थिंक मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ जो उस टाइम डेवलप हुई है, और उसके बाद ऑल द फैमिली इश्यूज, तो आई थिंक अब नथिंग कैन ब्रेक मी. बट ऑब्वियसली ऐसा कभी
हाँ,
बोलना नहीं चाहिए,
बोलना
भगवान
नहीं
ने तो
चाहिए
टेस्ट.
एग्जैक्टली. हाँ.
तो yes, so it is difficult. Matlab, everybody who comes to me and talks about liver transplant wants to know what is it like, and just talking about it and thinking about doing it sounds very uh, courageous and
Heroic. Heroic.
heroic, but
Hmm.
requires a lot of mental strength also. I saw people at Apollo who would run away at night, अपनी मम्मी को छोड़ के बेटा भाग गया, and just scared about this thought about leaving, about giving up an organ जो एक ही है, उसका भी
हाँ.
percentage चला. Yeah, I think was a very testing time.
Okay, so talking about organ donation, you're working very closely with the government, है ना? Organ donation को लेके. So how much is the government working on this, and how much is the general public aware about on this?
Not really. General public awareness is pretty low. I would say tier B cities में थोड़ी awareness आई है, but imagine villages and all, तो they don't even know कि क्यों somebody is passed away,
Hmm.
and they have no
हाँ.
idea कि हुई कैसे है. So I think a lot of decades it might take to reach to that level to bring that awareness. But yeah, forget my case. So it is a live donation. ये तो भूल
Hmm.
जाएं, ये तो बहुत eventually आएगा to all the citizens of the country. But dead donation, कि मेरे मरने के बाद, तो जिंदा तो कोई
Hmm.
दे बहुत ज्यादा ही बड़ी बात हो गई, पर अगर मरने के बाद दे सकते हैं, दोज थिंग्स पीपल आर लिटिल अवेयर अबाउट, कि भैया हार्ट, ब्रेन, आईज, किडनी, लिवर, ये सब. सो इफ दैट अवेयरनेस आल्सो गोज बाय ना, तो लॉट ऑफ लाइव्स कैन बी सेव्ड. बट देन सुपरस्टिशन से बना है हमारा देश, तो
Hmm.
वो
Hmm.
superstition just takes over all kinds of logics and whatever you can give them. तो feeling कि eyes दे दी तो अगले जन्म में हम अंधे पैदा होंगे, and all of those
हाँ.
thoughts,
हाँ.
those need very systematic ways of dealing with the public. So it can't be कि एक डॉक्टर गया और उसने बोला कि भैया ऐसा नहीं होगा, बिकॉज उस डॉक्टर ने भी अगला जन्म तो नहीं देखा है. तो
हाँ.
वो
हाँ.
पब्लिक नहीं होगी उससे. So it needs a lot of therapy and a lot of maybe multiple times. If you start saying a thing na, people start believing it as true. So
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
a lot of people talk about organ donation, that can be a way, but I'm 100% sure it's a long way to go. Government is trying their bit, लेकिन जैसे major campaigns about, I think a little awareness has gone into heart transplant या kidney transplant के बारे में थोड़ी सी awareness आई है, but liver people think एक ही है, तो एक कैसे donate हो
हाँ.
सकता है,
हाँ.
दो हैं. तो अभी तो कुछ लोगों को किडनी का पता चला है, मतलब अदरवाइज वो साइंस में पढ़ाते थे कि यहाँ पे बीच में दो हैं, तो
हाँ.
एवरीबॉडी
हाँ.
वुड,
हाँ.
किडनी होती तो हमारे लेफ्ट में है. तो आई थिंक बहुत long way to go, long way to go. But we are trying our bit, government is trying their bit, but थोड़ा open mindedness from people, and maybe जब families में होता है,
हाँ.
जब जिस family होता है, and I'm sure हर family has gone through some kind of case, उससे awareness बढ़ती है. जैसे कोविड था
Hmm.
ना, जैसे
हाँ.
आपके घर में होता है तभी आप realize करते हो कि भाई मास्क पहन लेना चाहिए. Similar is the case with this
Organ donation.
transplant donations. जब अपने को जरूरत पड़ती है ना, कि यार हमारे
हाँ.
फैमिली में किसी किडनी की जरूरत है, तब दे रियलाइज कि यार मैं मर जाऊंगा तो मैं भी डोनेट करके जाऊं, क्योंकि मैंने तो किसी whoever passed away उसी की ली ना.
Hmm.
So I think eventually we'll fall in place.
So you got into Wharton, right?
Yeah.
How tough was getting into Wharton?
It's very tough. I just don't have any words to why I do these
Express.
things. मतलब
हाँ.
I take up these challenges जो बिल्कुल impossible type के होते हैं and then trying to achieve it somehow. So what happens is traditionally an Ivy League college needs a perfect profile. What do I mean by a perfect profile is usually a good school जो सबका हो ही जाता है and उसके बाद a good college which is known. तो इंडिया में हार्डली 5-6 कॉलेजेस आर नोन बाकी आर नॉट नोन टू द वर्ल्ड एंड देन अ गुड कंपनी जिसमें आपने 2-3 साल काम किया मैकेंजी और गूगल और व्हाटएवर एंड देन यू
Hmm.
अप्लाई फॉर अ Ivy League. And Ivy League requires at least 4-5 years of work ex with a good MNC, good and known MNC.
Hmm.
Now with me, the challenge was that
हाँ.
school is college was not okay because I studied in Bhopal, and then I didn't have a MNC experience of 5 years. I had my own business, which is conservatively okay, but it's not as big as a Sequoia funded business. And then I wanted to apply. So that's a very non-traditional profile that anybody would risk at.
Hmm.
So I think just I have my entire lockdown period from 2019 till 2020, at least 1.5 years, I have literally given 18 hours to studying and office work combined with very minuscule sleep. So I think that helps. Once you say कि भैया there's no other way, there's no, I had to leave India, and I had decided I will not leave it for any Tom, Dick and Harry school. I will,
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
I'm leaving, I will leave respectively. So then eventually I applied for statistics sake. I applied for 14 colleges. I
सारे
got
Ivy League.
rejected. No, so Ivy League 7 year. So I applied to 14, all the known
Hmm.
ones, and I got rejected from the bottom 11.
Okay.
I got only accepted to the top 3. So in 2, I got an interview. I got selected also to Columbia, and then I took up Wharton. So non-traditional profiles usually जो colleges नीचे है ना, they won't risk at because everybody is fighting for that rank. तो वो
Hmm.
traditional profiles में ही लेते हैं जिससे कि high GRE score, good college, good company, सब कुछ best होना चाहिए. तो वो risk नहीं लेते. तो those top 3 colleges decided to take risk on me, and thankfully, yeah, going.
So, like after achieving so much, मतलब आपने इतना सारा अचीव करा है. At the end of the day, what brings satisfaction in your life?
Satisfaction तो आता है दादी के साथ खाना खाने में. That is satisfaction,
Nice.
and
Nice.
it cannot be replaced with anything else. The problem is that it's a race and everybody is running. So you got to keep up with the race, otherwise you'll fall back. So
Hmm.
yes, that's what brings contentment. That's what brings fulfillment. But you got to do other things because it's life and you can't stop. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So like I can figure it out. Like you are very strong woman. But what was the moment, like you will have some moments when you'll feel powerless, या आपने कहा कि इससे ज्यादा डाउन मोमेंट तो आ ही नहीं सकता मेरी लाइफ में, तो वो ऐसा कौन सा था?
ये तो आ जाता है, बहुत बार आता है. वीकली बेसिस पे आता है. पर यस, सो काफी बार आया है. सो व्हेन आई वोक अप फ्रॉम द ट्रांसप्लांट आई थॉट इससे वर्स तो लाइफ में हो ही नहीं सकता. मतलब यू आर ऑल, एंड द डॉक्टर टोल्ड मी, आई वाज इन कोमा फॉर अ फ्यू मिनट्स आल्सो. मैंने कहा अब तो बैंड बज गई है, दिस इज इट, इससे बुरा नहीं हो सकता. एंड व्हाई डिड आई डू दिस एंड व्हाट हैज हैपेंड टू मी, एंड आई एम अनएबल टू इवन forget stand. I was unable to speak. So जब आवाज ही नहीं निकल रही, बाकी सब तो बहुत ही दूर की बात है. So that was my lowest moment, I thought,
Hmm.
in 2014. Then 4 months later mom passed away. मैंने कहा ये worse हो गया है.
Hmm.
फिर then my father left. So I thought अब तो बस, this is it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
then father left, then grandfather left, then things happened as worse as they can. So competition नहीं देना चाहिए भगवान को. He can tell you कि जो था वो बहुत था. And then this is a very important lesson that I eventually learned कि whatever I have at this moment is the best. इससे अच्छा
Okay.
नहीं हो सकता. It can get better, it can get worse. But this moment that I have, ये fulfilled है. इसमें इतना ही हो सकता है, right? इस moment में तो मैं और कुछ नहीं कर सकता. इससे ज्यादा नहीं हो सकता, इससे कम नहीं हो सकता, ये इतना ही है. अब इसको मैं जितना live कर सकती हूँ. For example, I always tell myself that I live with my grandmother now. So I'm like, she's here now, and I have these few
हाँ
months with her.
हाँ.
She will not be there after a few years, and I might not be here, and even if there are fights at home or whatever it is, ये भी नहीं रहेगा, you know.
हाँ
Eventually
हाँ.
this will also go away, and then I'll miss the fights. Don't I miss the fights I had with my mom? My mom and my sister would fight, and उस time बड़ा बुरा लगता होगा. I'm sure मुझे बुरा लगता होगा, but I miss them. I really miss them, you know. So because they're family, you know, family में
Yes,
कुछ भी
yes.
हो जाए, eventually they're family. So I have understood one thing, कि whatever I have in this moment, I am going to live it fully. I always, due to whatever we've been able to achieve, I can afford to stay at home during COVID, and I can afford to give myself some holidays or whatever, be relaxed. But I always tell myself that this day is not coming back. So as much as I can do, whatever I can do, it is unbelievable. For you also, I think for
Yeah,
everybody, you
for
look back
everybody.
and you think, 20 साल निकल गए. मतलब it is such a big joke to me कि यार क्या किया, you know, these, or for me it's 28 years. What have I done in these 28 years? It's not substantial. मतलब I could have done so much more. So I have just decided that if this day is what I have, I will make the most of it. And in those terms, I literally do such chaotic things. I will try and keep myself busy. I will go and meet random people. I'm seriously telling you, Surancho, I will meet random people just so that I don't miss on this opportunity I've got. If this is my day,
Mm.
I will meet and network with as many people as I can. I will go to places. If there's nothing, I'll go to the gym. I'll come to office. I will do whatever. Abhi I am in this location now. When I'll go to US, Bangalore जाना है, whatever is my future plan, forget that. पर अगर मेरे को ये दिन मिल रहा है और मेरे पास अगर यही दिन है, I make sure कि I do as much as I can, even if it's as stupid as it can be. But I don't want to regret कि इस दिन में मैं जितना कर सकती थी उससे ज्यादा करना चाहिए मुझे. So I live by that philosophy very strongly, and some people think कि क्या है ये, मतलब you don't get tired, but I decide not to get tired because I won't be as young as I am today ever,
Yeah,
and I
very
can't
true.
do
Yeah.
this at 40, 50 में मैं वो सब नहीं कर पाऊंगी जो मैं अभी कर सकती हूँ. तो
Hmm.
full throttle पे चलती हूँ मैं.
So, like, this is a problem that many teenagers face. I guess, मतलब, क्योंकि ये ऐसा time है हमारी age ऐसी. How do you deal with losing of friends? मतलब, losing friends मतलब अब बात नहीं होती या कुछ भी. How do you deal with that?
It is it has been a very big challenge in my life also, obviously in my school days. So unfortunately क्या होता है in teenage years, आपको लगता है कि friends are everything, and then that one particular friend who's everything, वही friend equation से बाहर हो जाता है. Unfortunately or fortunately, I think the world is constructed that way, and I've also lost friends to different circumstances. Some have just been mean, बट व्हाट आई हैव अंडरस्टूड इज एक बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक जो हम कर देते हैं, एंड ऑब्वियसली उसका रियलाइजेशन टीनेज ईयर्स में नहीं हो सकता, इज नॉट रियलाइजिंग हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट पेरेंट्स आर कंपेयर टू फ्रेंड्स. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है, आई विल टेल यू, एंड नोबडी लाइक्स टू हियर इट बट आई वुड से इट एनीवेज. वी टेक पेरेंट्स फॉर ग्रांटेड कि ये तो है ही, और आई जस्ट डोंट अंडरस्टैंड पेरेंट्स, यू नो. आई मतलब मुझे समझ ही नहीं आता है कि हाउ एनीबडी कैन बी सो सेल्फलेस. मतलब एक इंसान है घर में जो इतनी बदतमीजी कर रहा है और वो आपसे
हाँ
आधी एज है, फिर भी वो आपको
हाँ
अपना बाप समझता है एंड इज बीइंग सो रूड टू यू, एंड यू स्टिल टेक इट एज पेरेंट्स, यू स्टिल टेक इट. एंड मतलब वो आपके पैसे पे खा रहा है, जी रहा है,
जी रहा है.
और वो आपको ही सुना रहा है, लेकिन वो लेते हैं. And I
हाँ
don't know वो कैसे लेते हैं, but that is something that only parents can do. And I have been, I would like to believe, a very good daughter everybody would think what an amazing daughter, donated her liver and everything. Lekin still there must have been times as a teenager. It's not something that we should blame on ourselves. Hormonal changes or whatever, we tend to be very rude to them. And I think that's one thing. And I have not been, but I still believe that some moments of my life when I've been rude to them, I absolutely had no authority or मतलब मेरा कुछ बनता ही नहीं था to be rude to them. मतलब औकात is the word, that मेरी कुछ औकात ही नहीं है to be rude to them, and I'm still rude to them. And that only they take, and they are one set of people who will be there for the rest of your life. मतलब दोस्त चले जाएंगे, रिश्तेदार चले जाएंगे, they stand by, and they are just too selfless and dumb कि वो हमें उल्टा थप्पड़ मार देना चाहिए उनको कि why are we even listening to all this from people who have no absolutely मतलब कुछ दम ही नहीं हम में, फिर भी हम we be rude to our parents. So I think teenage years में if there's one thing I would have changed would have been to be a little more kind, respectful, lovable to them. Friends, what I've understood, जो असली थे वो अभी भी हैं, और जो नहीं थे वो चले गए, and they went for good. And if they would have not gone for good at that stage of time in my life, वो मेरे 10 साल और खराब कर देते. So I am one person who's very happy that they went at the right time, and it's a very harsh reality. I've had friends, the closest friend to me, मतलब इतनी close कि हम स्कूल में साथ में, फिर कोचिंग में साथ में, फिर कोचिंग के बाद घर में साथ में, रात में घर पहुंचेंगे, फिर फोन पे बात करेंगे, एंड देन सुबह स्कूल में फिर मिलेंगे. So like spending good 18 hours with that person, but they left, they got a better college, or they found themselves to be better somehow, and they left. But I think that has been a remarkable gift in some sense, which you realize later.
So, like another question, what one mistake that you think you did and you'll tell other teenagers कि ये चीज मत करना, that is wrong?
I told you one thing which I regret, and I suggest everybody to be a little more kind, respectful, lovable to our parents. And so I lost my parents. That's why maybe I feel so strongly about it. It's not necessary that everybody loses them, but still you got to be a little, one second. Yeah, you just got to be a little more kind to them. I think that's one thing I would change. I had given everything that I had, but in my bad moments, which I would have had from school, from teachers or friends or whatever, and that would be thrown out on my parents. And I feel very strongly for it कि वो deserve ही नहीं करते, and they've just done so much कि we should be the people taking if they have a bad day, we should be taking it क्योंकि they are the reasons we are there. They are the reasons we have a school. They are the reasons we have those teachers. वो जो दोस्त हैं वो भी वहीं से आए हैं eventually.
वहीं से आए हैं, हाँ.
But we lose track of our head. जो जब तक आता है, it's just too late because we move on. We go to our colleges, jobs, सबकी city witty change हो जाती है in most cases. So I think these are the most beautiful years you get to spend as a family. अगर if we have 4 people, one might get married, one might get shifted, पर ये जो family होती है ना, ये टूट जाती है eventually after school. So these are the only years that you get with them, and वो भी हम screw कर देते हैं. I think I would do anything to relive those moments, and I think I have not done it properly. पर I'm sure उस time वो realization नहीं होता, वो बाद में ही होता है. So yeah.
I will keep that in mind. So how are the World Transplant Games?
So how India works is that there are these Indian transplant games, and then you qualify for the World Transplant Games. But due to lack of information and awareness, imagine हम discuss कर रहे थे how to promote and make people aware about organ donation. So World Transplant Games तो एक बहुत ही secondary level पे बात कर दी हमने. So there is lack of awareness. So obviously I being from a sports fraternity since my childhood days, I had prepared rigorously for it, and I've spent around 8-10 hours practicing every day. But once I went there, I realized the magnanimity with which they play those games. They are organized by the Olympics Association, so the
Uh-huh.
scale is obviously too good, and it was held in Newcastle, Gateshead, UK. So they had given holiday, मतलब एक हफ्ते की वहाँ छुट्टी थी. तो either as a resident, you can be a participant or a volunteer or a spectator. You had to choose whatever you want to do. But
Hmm.
when that entire city is involved in an event, तो वो it was like a celebration going on week long, जिसमें there would be dozens of cultural events and dozens of sports events, and everything is going on in the entire city. So I've never seen anything of that magnanimity. You see your nationals being played in certain part of the city, right? And
Hmm.
इस scale पे मैंने कभी कोई program देखा ही नहीं था. I realized Britain had 200 members in their team, and every third, fourth member had a coach. And India had a team of 14 people with no coach.
No
So
coach.
no coach. मतलब we had a coach in India, but we didn't have a coach जो हमारे साथ गया हो.
हाँ.
So I think long way to go there as well. But yeah, just understanding and seeing the magnanimity, I realized how much importance the world gives to organ donors, recipients, and is a subject that needs more awareness in India. But what an amazing experience! Matlab, it was outstanding. It was the most beautiful days somebody can spend in a city. I was too nervous for the game, so I was in the hotel room all the time. But once I won the medal, I was in free flow, right? So then I went to all these events, and I just realized that how amazing it was. And I would be better prepared for the next ones because I realize how strong they are and how big they are.
हम्म.
Not so easy.
तो आपने सोचा था कि आप जीत जाओगे एक मेडल?
No. Obviously. So my target was to win one bronze, and that was
हाँ.
also just because my father was too enthusiastic about it, and he had told everybody. So just to prove him, मतलब उनकी इज्जत रह जाए के लिए,
हम्म.
I wanted to win a medal just for him. My entire
हम्म.
focus was to win a medal for him, and but once I reached there, तब तो I had just given up. And I would keep saying in other words, trying to convince everybody in family कि नहीं वो तो कोई बहुत बुरी बात नहीं है अगर नहीं जीते. Just
हाँ.
representing the country is also good enough.
हाँ.
But then again, this might be the fourth, fifth event in my life when I realized the value and the strength of mental health. So uh, I had 4 events, out of which one was the marathon, which was on the first day, which I lost. Not many people know about that. And then
हाँ.
all my 3 events were on the last 2 days, and there was a gap of 4 days. So on the last second day, I had 100 meters, and there was a US lady called Jenny Kerry. At the I would say 0.2 second or whatever millisecond that was, at the end of those 100 meters, she moved ahead and she got a gold. I got a silver. Now, me, who was expecting a bronze, I was too happy. I had crossed my limits of happiness, and I had told everybody in India, and I had crossed all boundaries of happiness. But she, understanding the fact that she had won at the last millisecond, uh, she didn't take it well. She
Okay.
definitely didn't take it well, and she even after winning a gold, she wasn't as happy as I was winning a silver. So you must have seen that photo, na? It's all about mindsets.
हम्म.
So the next day, I was free because my entire burden that I had taken on my shoulder was over. I had to win a bronze, I had won a silver, I was done. So I was too free. And
हम्म.
she was under a lot of pressure because she realized that last evening kya hua tha. So so in long term, what happens? There are 3 qualifiers and there are 3 finals. So my qualifier jump was the world record, and
हाँ.
just because I was mentally free, I was not worried about anything, and that first qualifier jump was so good that Jenny Carey left the stadium because she just couldn't take it, and it was not.
Okay.
She couldn't take the pressure, and she came back eventually. She won a silver that day. I won a gold, and that's when I realized that what mental power can do to you. And then I won a
Hmm.
silver,
Hmm.
I won a gold for long jump, and then I won a gold for short put as well. Just because I could take that pressure, and I could
हाँ
take that
हाँ.
pressure. So yeah, sometimes better things happen.
And what was your? How are you feeling after coming back to India?
I was out of the world. So I basically the disappointing part maybe because nobody was there when that event happened. So when you
Hmm.
win, that's the moment maybe you want to hug your parents or something. That's the moment that you would like to cherish. फिर थोड़ा थोड़ा down होता जाता है. So, but yeah, it was one of the most amazing days of my life. Just coming back to India, meeting my parents, and yeah, that was fine. So yeah, and my new parents. So they gave me such a warm
Yes,
welcome. That was
yes.
really nice. But would love to have them in the event. When
In the
that
event.
happens. Yeah, that's even more precious.
सो लाइक इन जैसे मतलब सबकी लाइफ में ऐसे होता है कि कोई एक रहता है कि यार इनका इनने कॉम्प्लीमेंट करा किसी चीज को लेके अपने बारे में, तो दैट मीन्स वी हैव डन समथिंग रियली वर्थ इट, कि वरना ही डजंट कॉम्प्लीमेंट यूजुअली, या कुछ भी रीजन, या यू लुक अप
Hmm.
टू हिम ऐसे कि मतलब कि मतलब भगवान टाइप ऐसे, तो इनने कॉम्प्लीमेंट
Yeah.
करा है, तो ये बहुत बड़ी चीज है. सो डू यू हैव समवन लाइक दैट इन योर लाइफ?
Yeah, obviously. I think everybody has that one person. But the only different part is that he compliments me all the time. So my
हाँ.
father is he to compliment everybody. So sometimes I think सबको ही मिल जाता है compliment, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, his gratification or his rectification on the work I've done is very important to me. It's very crucial to me. So if he says I've done a good job, then I've done a good job.
That's very nice. Shout out to Manish Rajoria.
Yeah, right. Hmm.
So, like after मतलब इतना अजीब करने के बाद आपको कुछ लगता है यार अब भी कुछ बचा है, या is there any stones left unturned?
अभी बहुत बचा है. This is just the start. This is just the beginning. The only thing I am a little contented that I've made the most of my youth.
Hmm.
So, which is very important. Eventually, you would
Hmm.
like to slow down life, but long way to go. I was just making a list yesterday of the things that I want to do. So,
Hmm.
I want to this company in the top 500. Uh, there are multiple things that I want to learn which I haven't. So I'm going to a very colder region now. So
Hmm.
Philadelphia is -12. So I want to
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
skiing. I want to learn surfing. I want to learn flying. So I want to become a pilot as well. So lot of things. This is just a scratch, and I'm sure everybody has so much in their minds, and this is just a scratch.
So like you ever think of like switching the industries, maybe like अभी जैसे you're in media and entertainment, आपके दिमाग में आता है
No,
कि
no, this
फ्यूचर
is
में
an
कभी?
industry that I love. I absolutely love this industry. I think I love uh, myself too much, and I think वो media and entertainment में I just get an opportunity to put myself out. I get to meet a lot of new people. I get to network. I just have this inbuilt habit of traveling. So I get to travel. So traveling, networking, doing business, and maybe just collaborating with others. I get this opportunity in the media and entertainment sector. And majorly, I would believe in the future, like 10 years down the line, franchising is that thing which will make me build a very big network out of it. Just like a
Hmm.
KFC or a McDonald's,
Yeah.
they are not big. It's the franchisees that make it big. So my
Hmm.
eventual idea is also to make the network huge, and
Okay.
And I think this one gives me that opportunity. I have a few more franchising business plans on my mind, which I will pursue. So obviously, we never want to keep all our cards in one hand. So I have multiple ideas in place, and I think let's give it time. In another 5 years, you should see some more business developing.
Sure, sure. And so, like, do you plan to permanently reside in Philly?
No, I plan to reside outside India. It won't be
Uh,
fully. It will be fully for 2 years. Then I plan to spend a few years in New York, and then eventually
LA,
settle my in Europe.
Europe. Okay, okay. So, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much. I think this was a great engaging session, and good to talk to friends.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here, and let's stay in touch. And I look
Sure,
forward to more
sure.
sessions of yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Perfect.